Okay, here is a video review. Let me make sure this is recording. Okay, here's a video review for Reaver X3. He's a Plat 3 Volibear OTP, and basically he had a game, wants to know essentially how he lost and etc. So am I making the right decisions? Am I performing good ganks? Any microplay tips? So basically, these questions here are very specific to. I mean, they're very general, not specific. They're not specific. They're general. So I'm gonna kind of just go over these in the end, and then maybe I can come back and address them specifically. First thing I want to start with are the runes and masteries. Here are the runes. They look pretty standard. Here are the masteries. They also look pretty standard. So nothing really to talk about here. Um, Volibear definitely benefits from dealing execute damage because his W is an execute, and he also benefits from gaining health on assist because it kind of also goes around with his passive and his stuff. So good masteries in my opinion. And let's go ahead and start the game. So as you are running around starting your first buff, I want to point out I want coverage of these two areas. So someone warded this, which is good. I want you to stand here. I don't like warding here because you might as well save your ward. But I would like to see people standing here because it will help avoid some potential cheesy gank or invade. But overall, not too big of a deal. Um, so you opt for Gromp Blue. I mean, pretty decent, like normal start. Let me turn the volume in game down. Okay, so you're skipping wolves, which is okay if you plan to gank top ASAP, or if you plan to like cover top ASAP. So basically, if top lane has a really aggressive matchup on either side, you're gonna want to probably do what you're doing now, which is skip two camps, go right to red buff, and get top lane as soon as you can. You'll notice that top lane actually won without your help, which is obviously great. So I think what you're doing now is you're just clearing your camps. So overall, a decent first level 1, 2, 3. You are in a good position on the map because Nocturne showed top. He died and TP'd back. And so what I would do right now, you can see he's overstaying and he's teleporting. So I would definitely come for this gank. So what you do here is you're gonna actually, let me turn it off. Okay, so now I can't actually see his clone. You know, this is okay. So you're gonna come up here, and I'm almost certain that Wukong is gonna get through this brush perfectly free. And so I don't like your idea to come up here. I think you saw that he warded this because Wukong, as he was coming up to kill these last minions, but like 30 seconds ago, he warded this and then went to kill the minions, and then Tahm Kench TP'd. Um, go in this bush anyway. You don't have to be afraid of wards. Tahm Kench is blocking off his path this way, so you coming here is gonna let Wukong get out this way for free, and I'm sure that's exactly what he does. So let's go ahead and play this and see. Yeah, so he's just gonna get out completely free. It was a failed opportunity to gank because of a little bit of a poor decision making on where to path. Not a terrible deal. Um, you kind of so now like as you're clearing camps, you kind of always need to think about what is my next decision. And top lane is kind of reset. Wukong's probably going back to base. Mid lane, you can't really do anything there. And so honestly, I think farming up your camps is the right idea here. So basically, clear all of your jungle so they can get like your Balmy Cinder or some sort of first jungle item. Um, Clear all the camps and then go back to base. That's kind of your only option here. So I bet that's what you do, and I'm just gonna fast forward through it. Okay, you take Scuttle Crab. That's a good Scuttle Crab to take because your bot lane is pushing. It's not always the best to take Scuttle. Sometimes you want to save it for later. Sometimes it just doesn't matter. But that was a good Scuttle to take. So you bought a terrible first buy, in my opinion. Terrible. I do like boots early on Volibear, but I hate Tracker's Knife. Well, okay, let me clarify this. I'm probably gonna go into a rant. Um, Tracker's Knife is my favorite jungle item, and I get it on more people than most do. So I'll get it on Italy, I'll get it on Kindred, I'll get it on Elise. Some of these junglers that people tend to not get it on, but on Volibear, I will never get it. Um, so here's what Tracker's Knife is good for, in my opinion. Basically, it's good for getting deep vision as you're counter jungling. And so it's good on those junglers who can hop over walls. It's good on those junglers who are good at counter invading and kind of stepping out. And the bigger caveat is it's good on junglers who need to know where everyone is. And so Tracker's Knife is useful to stick wards here, stick a ward here, stick a ward here, stick a ward here. You know, like Tracker's Knife is useful for those things. And I just don't think Volibear does that. Chilling Smite is just so much better on him because it helps you with the gank. It helps give you burst damage so that your Q or your W can execute them faster. And overall, I think Chilling Smite is kind of necessary. So I'm saying that, and I love Tracker's Knife. So I definitely would probably consider getting Chilling Smite. As you're clearing this camp, the other problem I have with this buy is you don't need to upgrade your Smite item first, especially if it's Tracker's Knife. You don't really need the wards this early in the game because I just don't think you need them. I think combat stats are way more effective as you hit that level 6 area and you can start making huge, powerful ganks. I think having combat stats in that is important. So what I would have done was probably get boots, Balmy Cinder. If you didn't have enough gold, then I would have got boots, um, boots, Ruby Crystal, and then maybe like Machete or something. The reason why I would get Ruby Crystal at least is it is combat stats, so it allows you tank stats, which maybe can help you gank. It increases your passive, and it increases your W. And you know all of those are super important. So I think combat stats are really important for these level 6 power spike gank things. So you're deciding to. I think you're in the right spot. I do want to point that out. So far, you've been in the right spot every time, in my opinion. You're basically just, like covering tower, soaking the XP of this tower. Your last hitting under tower is kind of poor. You missed 4 of those minions, and you should have been able to get all of them. So what I would do here, okay, first of all, this double ward coverage is pretty bad. I can't zoom out. I wish I could, but you don't need both of these. This covers the entrance into the Tribrush. Like we're assuming we're Nocturne coming up. So this ward covers the entrance into the Tribrush. And then the Tribrush covers the Tribrush as well. So I don't think you need that. If you want to cover the Tribrush, if you want like the most exhaustive defensive coverage against top lane, a ward here would do the exact same thing that this ward is doing. It just do it 10 seconds earlier. Because right now the only way into the Tribrush is through here, which is covered by this ward, and through here, which would be covered by this ward. Having these 2 defensive wards is okay against some junglers like Nidalee or Kindred and anyone else who can jump over a wall. Because if I'm Nidalee and I know these 2 are warded, well, if I know this is warded, then I'll just go hop this dragon wall, or hop this Baron wall, and then go through Tri. So sometimes you have to have both warded, but definitely not against the Nocturne. So you're going in for this gank, which is good. Okay, you played that well. You got the tag, so this should be a kill. Okay, even with the counter gank, this should... Okay, well there's 2 things in that gank. The first one I want to say is you still have flash. I think you could have used flash somewhere in that gank. So basically Wukong ended with almost no health. And obviously you want to avoid that. So he's starting at about 80%. So you're going to need more than, you're going to need something extra because he's pretty full on health. And he's got boots. So you should know both of those things already because you would have pushed tab to see his boots. So I don't know. Like, you have flash, but your spacing is actually good. Yeah, Flash wouldn't have helped there. It's kind of unfortunate. I will point out that if you had combat stats, he would have died. So if you had Balmy Cinder, or even just a Ruby Crystal for that W that you did here, he would have died. So hindsight's 2020, no big deal. The map's resetting. You're in bad need of farming right now. So your warding patterns are super defensive. Um, so far, nowhere in here have you gotten any deep wards into Nocturne's jungle, which against a Nocturne is super important. You just saw Nocturne bot lane. Okay, you drop a ward to make you... So again, it's a defensive ward, but I think that's okay. There's a time for defensive wards, and basically that's if they have an aggressive lane, or if you have an aggressive lane. But either way, if a lane's got a big target for the jungler, then defensive wards is okay. The other time defensive wards is good is if this exact case happens, where they have two people in lane and you have zero. So if they spot you, they could come up and kill you if they know that you're at blue. It's unlikely, but I think this ward here is good in this case. But try not to only place defensive wards, because Nocturne's just going to be able to gank anyone he wants. I don't understand what's the point of Scuttlecrab. You've got a nearly full ward. It's like at 65%. This ward's going to last a minute, and the Scuttlecrab Shrine's going to last a minute and a half. I don't think you need to get Scuttle. It's a little bit of action. Oh, holy shit, no, please don't do this dragon. Okay, here's why not to do the dragon. Fizz is recalling. Thresh isn't here. Ashe has a big wave that she's got to push in. So please don't do this, dragon. No, no. Okay, it was a bad decision, but at least you saw that it was a bad decision. So Nocturne showed bot earlier, right? And, well, so tracking the enemy jungler is something you need to do. And unfortunately, this Nocturne hasn't done much to give you hints. And even more unfortunately, you have no vision and anywhere in his jungle. So if you had vision here, like in this area or in this area, then you would know if he's about to gank bot lane. I would say that defending bot lane here is a super, super important thing to do right now, because Nocturne is 7 and he has ult, and Jinx, Karma are going to come back to lane. So you can farm your wolves. I think that's the selfish option here. Top lane's gone. He can make a TP play to the bot side. Nocturne, like, I don't know. I would say there's a big red flag down here that you should be aware of. Please don't start this dragon. Okay, good. You're... Oh, what was that flash? Okay, earlier I was looking for a flash. I don't like that flash. Okay, so I'm gonna walk you through this. You die here. And I don't know what's the point of the flash. Okay, first of all, if you had a ward in this bush, which I like to keep up all the time, you would have known Nocturne's there, whatever. You didn't actually have any wards, so it's, I mean, whatever, it's fine. That flash was super aggressive. You had these two coming. So, you didn't need to flash yet, because, like, it really, I don't know. The flash here gets you killed, and saving flash would have won you the fight and you would have got a double kill. Yeah, so if you saved flash, you wouldn't have been able to flash out of his fear range, and then your passive would have been able to tick for longer, and I think you would have lived. Instead, it's a 2 for 2, because he's gonna die. Oh wow, Fizz. It's a 3 for 2. 3 for 3. Wow. This is a clown fiesta. Okay, so flash there's a little bit of a micro mistake, whatever. Your next back, you opt for crystal and upgraded boots. I do like upgrading boots early, but you still have absolutely no combat stats except for a crystal, and that's gonna be bad because Nocturne already has upgraded smite. Okay, stop here. Ward right here. Like if you click here, it'll ward here and it'll get this whole vision. But he knows blue buff is up, and warding here is really important because it'll spot Nocturne if he goes up to farm his Gromp, and it'll spot him if he goes up here to try and gank top. So since you're in this part of the map, ward right here with your tracker's knife. Okay, that's an okay spot. I like it here because you'll actually get a little bit farther and you'll get a little bit higher. What's the point of that ward? What's the point of that ward? This ward literally covers the same vision because it covers if Nocturne's coming up this way. This will just get vision of him for another 2 seconds. So this is stupid. This ward was wasted. It would have been better up here so you can at least get him coming around this way. Although honestly, if I was Nocturne, the best thing I'd do is gank from here and ult in. So this ward is absolutely wasted. Okay, you clear a ward. He drops another ward. Okay, at that point, ignore that other ward. Okay, so you're going up to pressure top. By the way, I think this, if you were going to ward defensively, at least ward here. Or here. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so you find a ward, you kill it, that's fine. This ward's okay, you can kill it. He wards again, ignore that ward. You know Nocturne's up here, you know Nocturne just took blue. This ward was okay to take because you were there for, like, it's fine. But you're going to get ulted by Nocturne right now, I guarantee it. Yeah, I mean, I guarantee you he was at Gromp, and when you started killing the first one, he started walking up to Gromp. So he's probably going to ult you through here. Maybe he's under tower and he's going to... I don't know, but he's definitely going to ult you right now. You don't need to kill this ward. One thing to always know that, like, what is the point of a ward? Oh, the point of a ward is to find you. So if you just avoid that area, then it doesn't matter. So I don't think you need to take this ward because... yeah, I don't know. I bet you're going to die because of this ward. It's ward bait. Hey, look, there's Nocturne. He didn't even have to ult. Okay, Tahm Kench saves you. But you're going to have to back, and now Tahm Kench is super low, and this tower is completely gone. This tower is theirs for free. You both need to give it up. It's gone. That's the mistake, or that's the consequences of your ward. No, don't defend this. No. They didn't ult. Remember, they did not ult when you took the ward. You're gonna die here. You don't have passive. You have no combat stats, and you don't have passive. Yeah. Tower's dead, dude. Now you're dead and the tower's dead. Tower's dead. Tahm Kench doesn't have a tower. No, Tom, don't ult. No. God damn it, now Tahm Kench is dead too. At least he's got some tanky stats. He might live this. Why is Tahm Kench building magic resist? Okay. So anyway, let's talk about the consequences of that play. Nocturne got a little bit more fed. Wukong got a little bit more fed. They've got a crapload of map pressure here. So this whole chunk of the map is now theirs. Because Wukong can roam anywhere he wants in this area. Nocturne can back him up because Nocturne has ults of ridiculously long range. So the consequences of that tower falling are huge. Not only did they get more gold, and there's global gold, so their Jinx, their hyper carry, can get a little bit more gold. But the other problem is this half of the map is completely open. And Wukong gets to make a teleport play whenever he wants now. And Tahm Kench can't match, at least for another minute. So, really big consequences of that play. Your decision to defend the tower was why that play happened. Actually, so that play started with the ward, and the ward kind of made you take all of your health, and Tom Kench got put out of position and took extra damage, and then they tower dived you because you didn't need to defend, but you did. So those are the consequences of the play. It's not a big deal. If you can pick smart fights from here, you still win. Your Fizz is still really fed, so you need to be playing, or you need to be making rotations with him. So if Fizz rotates bottom, you need to rotate bottom. Again, why? What's the point of that word? What's the point of this? Look, 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 look. Why? Who cares if there's vision? Ari has no damage, and she's gonna walk over a ward on her way down anyway. Why? If you were here, Wukong would be dead already. Ouch. Now you're gonna die. I don't know what that word is for. Well, I guess that word is okay. I don't know. I don't know. Don't. You're dead. You have no health. You have no health. You're just a walking bag of gold for anyone who wants to right-click you. This is kind of greedy because if one, like, they're taking dragon right now, and if one of them walks up towards your blue, then you're dead. No, you have no health. What? So if you check dragon, what if they're there? You die. Okay, what did you buy? Okay, finish Cinder Hulk. Finally, at 16 minutes. I don't know what that early cloth armor was for, by the way. You haven't... It's not... I don't know. I mean, it's nice to have a little bit of extra armor so that you're always full health with camps, but... That defensive pink is okay because you know that he's going to be in your jungle. So first of all, I do want to point out this pink is good. As I said earlier, this tower's gone. So this whole, like, third of the map is really dangerous. So having a pink here is good because it pretty much covers a really huge entrance into that third of the map. So I do like this pink ward, and it'll stay there forever until they clear it. Okay, you're not playing proactively around Fizz enough. Remember, Fizz is your damage right now. He's gotten like 5 solo kills. Okay, you are positioning with Fizz. How does he die in this fight? Yeah, Fizz screwed that up. That wasn't your fault. You guys didn't have a minion wave, and Fizz tried to go meet. He should have just waited. Fizz was impatient. Ouch. That was Fizz's fault. Okay, what did they get from that play? They get 2 kills, dragon, and mid turret. Oh no, they don't get mid turret. So 2 kills and dragon. If they got mid turret, that would be pretty much game. You really need to be able to play around this Fizz roaming because he has all of your gold and all of your team's damage. I think you took a really awkward defensive path up there. It worked out though. You should be able to get this kill. Nice. Okay, so you are playing around Fizz's strength. That's good. Ash lighted a nice arrow onto Wukong. This fight works out in your favor actually nicely. Oh, he flashed. Sad. Okay. You guys can't really do anything. I think going top lane and pushing it into turret is the right idea. It's gonna you're not gonna get turret because Nocturne's up here, but it's gonna force Nocturne to go top, which will give you vision of him for the next 10 or 15 seconds. So right now what you're doing is you're trading vision of yourself for vision of him. But right now he's kind of more of a risk than you are. Yeah, alright, so he shows. You just need to leave. You're gonna die now. Okay, like I said, you were trying to trade vision, not get a tower. He's way stronger than you. He had 5 kills. He was 516 before that. You had no business actually defending that. That was a huge mistake. What did they get from that though? Honestly, not much. Nocturne gets 300 more gold, but he's already got so much gold that he does his job super well anyway. So they don't really get anything from that other than killing you. Okay, what next? Definitely farm your camps. You've got 5 out of your 6 camps up, and you need to get some of those down. There's a pink word. There's a pink word. Okay, you saw it. And you... I don't know what that trinket was for. Okay, you need to defend this. Ignore your camps. There's 4 of them here, so you need to defend this. This is you're gonna get caught. Ooh, nice. Nice. Okay, this fight is won, right? Oh no. God. Okay. So this fight actually is lost. You killed their Ahri, who sucks ass. Ahri, like this Ahri sucks. She's the only reason your Fizz is strong. But you lost your carry. So right now, I don't think you guys can do anything. You have no minion wave here, so you guys are in a really dangerous position. And if you're grouped up, you're gonna have this Runaan's Jinx critting the shit out of you guys, and you're gonna have Wukong knocking up you guys. So, you guys already have this tower. You don't need 3 of you clearing this wave. You after this fight where Jinx or where Ashe died, you should have just farmed your camps. Like I said, the more you're grouped up, the more there's 4 of them. Or there's one of him knocking 4 of you up, and Jinx critting the shit out of you guys with her AoE rocket, Runaan's. Yep. That's exactly what happened. So that's, I mean, I guess it's 1/4 your fault. You know, like, there were 4 of you guys there and all of you were grouped instead of trying to just, you know, spread out and farm the map, get a little bit of gold, get a little bit more vision control, get a little bit more side lane control. That's what you should have gained from that fight. You have no business fighting without Ashe. And let me point out, I'm going to let this play slowly. Your team, single target damage, single target damage, single target damage, single target damage, a little bit of AoE with his E, but 3 of his spells are single target. Your team does not want to group, so try and avoid it at all costs. On the other hand, AoE, 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 single target. So their team is designed, they have no front line. That's the big weakness of their team. They've got 3 diving champs. Ahri, Wukong, Nocturne all want to dive you. And then they've got a hyper carry in the back line who's going to be buffed up by Karma. So their team comp is really weak if you're playing on your terms. Which is if you're playing around vision so that you can kill off one of their squishy, like specifically Jinx. Because they have no front line to actually defend against Jinx. But if they get the fight, if Wukong gets to engage on you and then he gets to follow up on top of Ashe, then the fight's guaranteed to be lost. So you guys need to be really careful and pick your fights. I would say if your team was able to win this game, it'd have to be like a 35-45 minute game. Just because of the way your team comp is. Ashe shouldn't have been farming there. That was his fault. What do you guys do here? He's a dumbass, he's gonna die. So now instead of Ash dying, he dies too, and it's a 2 for the 0. You guys don't have the option of swinging this, though, because Jinx hasn't come yet. As soon as Jinx... Yeah, there she is. Now you guys are dead. There's her AoE crits. There's 1. There's 2. Those AoE crits win them the game. So, I think... I mean, Ashe got picked. You guys shouldn't have fought that. It was actually a decent fight to take, though, until Jinx got there. Because their team is designed with Wukong and Nocturne to blow one person up and have Jinx just layer damage underneath. And if Jinx isn't there, they blow one person up. They can't blow 2. But that fight was mostly Ashe's fault. What'd you lose? Well, you lose a lot of map pressure. These side lanes don't just have minion gold in them. The side lanes have vision. The side lanes have acceptable flank options, and as long as you have minions pushed up past river, you've got defense against your flanks. Right now you don't, and that's a really risky Jinx play. Greedy. Okay, so what happens next? Looks like Thresh is trying to get Vision of Dragon. Instead of getting Dragon, you're getting Wraiths. That's probably dumb. It was a good opportunity to go take Dragon. Okay, as I said, what is your goal? Well, first of all, you guys are super, super, super far behind. Your goal needs to be playing around Vision. Your goal needs to be playing around ticks, killing one person, and then transitioning that into map control, and then killing another person, and transitioning that into map control. You don't want to group. You don't want to force fights. It's important that your team gets to Baron or Dragon first, because you don't want them to, because you guys don't really have any ways of actually getting into them. But right now your chances of winning this are super low because their win condition has been fulfilled. They don't have a front line, so what they need to do is have their assassination line between Wukong and Nocturne get so fed that their assassination works. And it did. Their comp is disastrously bad if they fall behind, but they didn't fall behind because of a couple of mistakes that you made, Fizz made, and Ashe made. So all three of you guys kind of made mistakes that contributed to this snowball. I wonder if this is even worth finishing. Looks like there's only like 5 minutes left in the game. So their team's doing exactly what they should, which is just kind of rotate around the map, pick the wave that's the biggest and push that tower, and they're doing it. Yeah, I mean, this is just probably going to keep going. They get another engage. They killed 3 of you. Almost 3. Now 4 of you. Because Ashe was in the wrong spot. Yeah, I mean, this is basically over. So I'm going to stop it here. It's kind of just beating a dead horse to see this when their team is... Their win condition has been so successfully executed. Doesn't matter how well you play, they're winning. They win because they got the best hand dealt to them, and so unfortunately, like, you can't do anything. You can't outplay them at this point. So let me talk about how did they get here and how did your mistakes contribute to that. So the biggest mistake, in my opinion, or not, like the biggest problem, in my opinion, is not the specific micro mistakes. Like I said, up here you fought over wards, which made you lose all of your health. Down here, you flashed on Ari. Those are some little like small micro mistakes. Those are not like the biggest sins that contributed to you guys losing this game. I would say well, one huge mistake here was letting them get this tower, but like that was related to fighting over those wards. But what I would do, like you need vision in his jungle. That would have saved you the game, I think, because avoiding Nocturne is a really important way to shut down their win condition. Like I said, their win condition is get Nocturne and Wukong fed so that they can dive your back line and live through it. Um, but their team has no front line, so if they can't dive your back line successfully, you kill them really quickly, and then you can just melt through Jinx. So I think you needed to get deeper vision. If you are going for Tracker's Knife, there were some ward like problems. Like you don't need two wards here. I don't think you even need to be defensively warding for Tahm Kench anyway, because if you get ward in the jungle, that's an even better defensive ward. So a ward here and a ward here would have done even more magic than these two wards. So vision in general is huge, and it kind of lost you guys this game. Now there were other problems as well. This Fizz was all of your gold, but he couldn't land a goddamn fish in the mid game. I didn't really point it out, but I noticed that he missed like 4 ults in a row, and so that's really kind of a big problem. Um, and then you guys kind of opted it like when you guys were losing, but not badly losing in the mid game. You kind of opted into some bad fights that were already lost. Like when Ashe got killed here, and you still committed to fighting it, and then one death by Ashe was actually turned into 3 total deaths, and they got Dragon. So a little bit of poor decision making, but not overall terrible. Uh, yeah, so I mean, I really want to see more vision in this game, and I think that would have made a big enough difference, as well as a little bit of those like small decisions. So let's see if we can talk about these. So am I making the right decisions? I talked about, so first of all, your pathing I think is the right decision. You have really good path mentality. You have really good gank mentality, and I think you're on the right side of the map almost all the time, at least as far as I could tell. I think, and so like your ganking pattern in this game was pretty much just on Wukong, which is fine. I think Wukong was the right gank, the lane. I think Wukong was the correct lane to gank. Um, So I think you performed a good gank. I think the problem, like the one gank that you had where Nocturne turned it around and Wukong got away with like 10 health, the problem with that gank wasn't really your decision making, it was mostly your build. Any micro play tips? I did point out some of the micro things along the way, like don't take the ward. The point of the ward is to see you, and if you don't step on it, then it doesn't really do its job anyway. So the microplay stuff there. I mean, Volibear is a really micro mechanic, simple champ, and I think you're doing an okay job playing him. I do. One comment, maybe, is that I don't know if you're. This is only a one game, but the style that you seem to like, which is a little bit more reactive, a little bit more kind of holding your cards until the enemy plays theirs, and then you like react to their cards with a smarter play or something. Um, Basically the Tracker's Knife style. That's just not Volibear. I don't like playing Volibear. I mean, like, the reason I don't like playing him is because I'm also that, like, kind of thoughtful style player, and instead of just, like, running through everyone, I think if you want to be, like, that assistive, supportive jungler who wards a lot, who controls the game, um, Volibear's not really a champion for that, just because he kind of just wants to run at you. I talked about general mistakes for number 4. Number 5, uh, I think your role in team fights was fine. That game had really awkward team comps, so you didn't have like the typical frontline versus frontline and backline kind of doing their stuff. Like it was more of a 2 assassin jumping on. So your role there was, I think, fine. It's pretty hard to say here. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say your performance, like if 5 is like average and you just like lay low, you don't really make mistake. 5 would be like the Sivir ADC who gets like ADCS at 100 minutes but doesn't die. That's 5, I think. So like 5 is average, what you can expect. I would say you were about 5, maybe 6. I think eh, you were definitely not a dead weight on your team. You did have really smart pathing in the early game, especially, and I think your pathing helped your team stay even and actually get ahead in the early game. Um, so like I think you did have many good things in this particular game. There were several small mistakes that unfortunately were like small but at the wrong time, so the enemy got to capitalize on them huge. Like fighting over the ward, you lost 75% of your health. Trying to defend the turret, you died, they got tower, Tom Kench teleports back, Tom Kench dies. So like those small mistakes actually added up really strongly against your favor, but that's more of a fluke than anything. So I think solid 6. Um, this game was lost more because their win condition was perfectly executed, more so than your team through the game. I would have liked to see more fishes landed, and I think you could have won the game if Fizz was playing better. He was probably 4, 3 out of 10. So hopefully that is a good VOD review for you. I hope you learned from it, and I'm definitely open to feedback. And if you would like another video reviewed, go ahead and just send me